Now, months after Kenya hosted Sudan's rapid support forces in Nairobi, controversy still lingers over the nature of the engagement. Leaders involved in the engagement have denied claims that the RSF signed a deal to form a parallel government, insisting it was merely a professional collaboration between the paramilitary group and various Sudanese associations. Now, speaking exclusively to KTN, Secretary General of the Sudan Association of Sergeants, Dr. Eldin, shed light on the purpose of the agreement signed in Kenya and unpacked the deep-seated ideological rifts hindering peace in Sudan.
It has been 2 years since the uneasy alliance between Sudan's armed forces, SAF, and the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, RSF, crumbled. An alliance that once brought down long-term ruler Omar al-Bashir in 2021. Today, that former unity has turned into a full-blown war. At the heart of the conflict, clashing ideologies, especially on religion and governance, and in the shadows of their bitter fallout lies the war's biggest victims, women and children, caught in the crossfire of a fight that shows no signs of slowing. In a quiet corner of the capital city, Nairobi, we meet Dr. Eldin, a man now far from the battlefields of Khartoum, but still deeply entrenched in the war's political and humanitarian front lines. As Secretary General of the Sudan Association of Sergeants and a member of a working group operating under agreements with the RSF, he offers rare insight into what really went down.
The RSF was made because al-Bashir regime had a trial of coup over them by a part of Islamists in the army who they split from the NCP. The Islamists through their time, they split into an NCP, National Congress Party, and Popular Congress Party. So they have some soldiers in the army try to make a coup on him. That's why he made the RSF to protect him. But
despite rumors that the RSF was plotting to form a shadow government from the Kenyan soil, Dr. Eldin brushes off the allegations. So what exactly was RSF signing in Kenya?
Kenya is very famous of the democracy and the free speech and civil leading government. And I think it's very much peculiar of all the region. That's why it's the belief of the importance of the civilian-led government.
But the RSF's rhetoric of equality is increasingly becoming weighed against disturbing allegations from human rights watchdogs. RSF soldiers are accused of committing heinous crimes against women, especially female medics on the front line. Yet, within RSF circles, the blame is being pushed back, painted as propaganda in a broader battle for legitimacy.
Civil societies that right now delivering reports and statements on the dire humanitarian situation and the atrocities in Sudan is much infiltrated by the Muslim Brotherhood. Sudan have a fundamental issues or fundamental problems since independence, that there were a group of elites or a social, economic, political group of people who are controlling the political decisions throughout the history of Sudan since independence. Certain families from different tribes, that the ruling and the opposition is just exchange between them.
The RSF's move to sign an agreement in Nairobi earlier this year raised serious concerns internationally, with critics interpreting it as an attempt to carve out a parallel state. But the Foreign Affairs Ministry quickly poured cold water on the speculation, dismissing it as deliberate misinformation aimed at mischaracterizing Kenya's diplomatic efforts. As bombs continue to rain on Sudanese cities and humanitarian corridors collapse, one thing is clear: what began as a tug of war for power has now morphed into a fight over the very soul of a nation where religion, identity, and justice collide. Winfrey Owino, KTN, Nairobi.
Thank you, Winfrey, for that. Well, we want to take a short break. When we come back, we'll still talk about the Israel-Iran conflict, which seems to be escalating. What is the ripple effect in terms of global stability, not just away from that, but also in the country? What will be affected? How will Kenya be affected? How will Kenyans be affected? We'll be answering all these questions with my guest, Professor Macharia Munene, History and International Relations Professor, Dr. Edgar Githua, an International Relations Peace and Security Expert, and Francis Maina, a Security Consultant. All that coming your way shortly after the break.